Right, guys, here we are, hole number 7. Let's take a look here. Looks like I'm black screened. Here I am. And one of the things that I mentioned yesterday was this shot with a dead ball setup and then switching. So you can see that I can get this side spin going over towards the hole, and what it's going to take is kind of landing right around here. You may want to tighten up that spin and kind of change your land zone a little bit, kind of like this. So I'm thinking something along the lines of this with the adjustment. And then I mentioned this is I can essentially count the rings for 11.0. I'm not sure how many to go. I'm thinking maybe 10 rings, and I would essentially just set this. Now I'm not going to hit this shot, but I wanted to just show you this. And the next thing that you'll need to do is you'll need to swap to the turkey and then actually play that shot. Once you have the target aim, now how many rings to go, I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head, but that's a way for you to get the adjustment out. After you pull the rings, then you switch back to the turkey ball. It's essentially going to keep that exact adjustment that you've already pulled. And I'll go over kind of how many rings it is. You'll be able to you can use the notebook tool as well if you'd like. But I'm just going to try to set up some kind of calculator because I want to know what that wind was, and I never got it switched. So since I didn't switch the ball back to the turkey ball, we never really got to see it. So I do kind of recommend this shot as well as kind of like an alternate, and that's actually what I'm going to set my shot up for. But I did want to use shot 1 to just kind of reiterate what I was trying to do on that one. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to switch to the turkey, switch to the, well, I guess we're going to go rock since I don't have QB, which shouldn't be a deal breaker here. I'm thinking something along the lines of this. Now this shot is a little bit more risky. It's probably going to require, perfect ball. And you can see with what I'm doing with my alignment, somewhere around here maybe. May be able to go more towards 1 per in this situation. So that was about 7.8. Let's just see what this looks like. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And it's still coming in towards the left. That's because, the ball guide's kind of stretching out. So if you do, I do recommend not using the side hill. You can see that I was a little bit light on the amount of spin that I needed there. So I was a little bit light on my spin. But one of the things that I did want to see is, essentially what was that wind. So if I was 11.0, I did want to at least pull this up. And then 65% is showing about 7.2, probably a floor. It's probably a floor. So I would imagine they don't have rounding in Golf Clash, so it's probably a 7.1. No, that can't be right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I'm not going to be able to figure out what the wind was. I can't figure it out that way. Not without more information. So I would have needed the basic ball adjustment and then to do 65% on the basic ball. So if it was 11.0 to restore that is kind of complicated. I may be able to do, now see, so even this doesn't work. Adding the 35% back in. Maybe if I divide by the 0.65, maybe. This may be the wind. Maybe it was 16.9 originally. So at a 16.9 wind, it would be 0.65 of that. Nope, that's still not right. Oh, you know why it's not right though? It's because I have the wrong wind effect. So minus 55 would be minus plus 45. So maybe a 7.6 in that case. That sounds right. So that could be the case. So that was a 7.6. I probably didn't need to go 10 rings for a 7.6. I'm thinking maybe somewhere around 9. So this is one of the things that you can do. So I can go into my QB or my rock, whichever, and I can type in whatever the wind was on the dead ball, which was 11.0. So I type in 11.0. If I need somewhere around 9 rings, I can essentially just manipulate the tool to make this happen. So I'm thinking maybe somewhere around here. I could go mid-club number, or I can use the max and minus 15%, maybe 9.1 rings. Maybe in that situation would have been kind of the correct number, but it's something that you'll just want to play around with. And all you need is a reference point. It doesn't even have to, all we're trying to do is just make the tool show kind of the right adjustment, so that way we can do it each and every time. So if we wanted to say, now I don't know what we want it to say, but I'm just assuming it's somewhere around 9 rings. So I can essentially just, play with this until we get the right adjustment, because we know the wind's 11, and we can essentially manipulate the tool until we see a number kind of in the position that we want it. And you can see at the max number here, we can essentially use a minus 15 with a 2 Powerball and kind of recreate that shot. And we can just play around with that until we get kind of the ballpark of where we want. So let's say, once you get that figured out, then you can just use the tool here and get that adjustment dialed, and then just use this for whatever the wind is. If it's 11, if it's, let's say next time it's 11.5, well, then we can go 9.3 wings. But you really just need to get that dialed in there using the tool and getting the correct adjustment. And then you can just essentially use that dead ball, do the adjustment, and then last second change to the turkey, and you should hold that same spot. And it's just a better way to precisely count and get the land zone that you're looking for. Other than that, your pull angle is going to be pretty critical. So you'll want to make sure that you're very exacting with the way that you pull the rings. Once you figure out how many rings to go, make sure that you're using the right pull angle, so that way it lands where you want in the bunker. So good luck with that shot if you do want to try to get that one dialed. Alternatively, you can use my second shot there if you don't feel as confident, or you don't have a Thor 6, a POC 6, a POC 7. You need to kind of find that alternate shot. So there you have it. Good luck, and I'll see you guys on the next one.